And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's market reflection. Tuesday, January the 3rd. My name is John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. Well, day one of 2023 is over. I hope that you had a good trading day. In the forecast this morning, we had some pretty important nuances that just got denied. It's just another example of how anything can happen. We got to make sure always to be very good risk managers. As far as anything that came out today, well, I mean, we had the S&Ps, the NASDAQ, all closed lower today. Crude oil closed lower. Both the December PMI, manufacturing PMI, and the construction spending indicate slowing activity. Tesla and Apple shares taking it really on the chin today, taking the NASDAQ lower, pretty much dragging all of us down. Crude prices dropped to the weekly kickoff low. That weekly kickoff low is 76.65, the low 76.60. So at least a good target there, perhaps not a very good opportunity for an execution for an entry there. Came at pretty late in the day when we got down there, but we had the crude down about 4%, down at 76.83 as economic woes in China continue to threaten demand. Also, OPEC crude output increased in December, coming out today, to 29.14 million barrels per day in December. So, just some interesting things. Tomorrow is Wednesday already. It's synthetic Monday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We're looking forward to the ISM Manufacturing Index, which could be a very interesting number. Also at the same time, 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow, the job openings and labor turnover survey, and then the FOMC minutes due out at 1 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. A lot of focus will be on what the Fed members talked about, what they said, and what their expectations are going to be moving forward. The next Fed meeting, as we know, is the beginning of February. So, as always, we're going to take a look through the charts. We're going to take a look at the late spikes that we had in the equities that just did not hold up. I mean, these are nuances. There's nothing that happens exactly the same way twice. And both of the late spikes in the equities and in crude oil got denied. They just came right back down to it, closed the gap, went through value from Friday to kind of close in precarious areas. We're going to see this very shortly. As always, I appreciate everybody being here, and make sure that you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback. And heckling and love are always welcome on the market reflection. Feedback is also important to us. If there's something we can do better, something I can do better, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you have an idea, something you'd like to add, something you'd like to take away, let me know. jhoagland@topstep.com. jhoagland@topstep.com. Good afternoon, everyone. George, good to see you. Lacey is kind of laying around behind my desk to see today, this afternoon. Bill, good afternoon. JC, such a clear day for me today. That's great. It's wonderful. I hope that you were able to really take advantage of that, recognizing that you're in tune with the market. Maybe it's your strategy. Maybe your vision is good on a particular day. You got to make sure and take advantage of those. It's always good to hear that. Burrell Investments made $250 from One Micro. My goodness. A lot of movement. I was positive 2K on a few ES contracts throughout the morning. Awesome. It's great, man. It's always good to see clearly, right? All right. Make Coke money today. We ended up making just about $100 on micros. It was a good session today. Looking forward to tomorrow, which is group coaching at 12:30, and then Make Hogue Money at the end of the day, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then, of course, we'll have the market reflection shortly after the Make Hogue Money session ends. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again tomorrow for the forecast, of course, and then group coaching and Make Hogue Money and the reflection. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing everybody, as I always am. Missed everybody while I was off for almost 2 weeks, a little over 10, 12 days. So it's always good to see everybody back. You get some information coming at me here. All right, so we've taken a look at what is due out tomorrow as far as economic numbers are concerned, but don't forget it is unemployment on Friday. The unemployment numbers due out on Friday. Good afternoon, Vince. Good to see you. So really just kind of getting myself back into the seat here, just being patient, looking for opportunities. I probably could have had a real bad day today with the late spikes, and I was looking for opportunities to buy weakness. But as a good risk manager, I didn't risk much on the longs that I was looking to take, and I ended up making a couple of decent opportunities for us today. So I start the year off positive, which is good. Make Hogue Money starts the year off positive, so it's all good. Any day above zero is a good day. All right. So let's jump into the charts here. We're going to start just going top left to right and in clockward motion here. Let's take a look at what happened in crude today. So we had a brief look above last week's high. I think that was in the overnight session, perhaps. And then the market just kind of crumbled. Again, the question seems to be, are we going to be suffering as far as demand? Well, here was our little look above here. We opened very range bound for the first hour. I mean, we barely got out of Friday's value area here in the first hour of trade today. But once we broke out down below that, looked like a pretty foregone conclusion that we would go down, take a look at last week's low and the weekly kickoff low, which was 76.65. We got 5 ticks below it before we closed back above it. So this might be an interesting level for us to be looking at tomorrow as we kind of approach the EIA petroleum status report, which is going to be on Thursday this week due to the holiday on Monday. Here was the late spike. Okay, in the crude oil, we did not open in or above the late spike. That could have been, again, something that may have told us we are rejecting higher pricing and had us looking for opportunities to look for shorts. Here's what it looked like on the TPO chart. JC, and I've only had green days this year. Me too. I love that. So here was that late spike. We opened below it. We tried to get up into it. No real signs of acceptance above there. Look at how low the volume was, even with 3 attempts to continue this move to the upside, which we were unable to do. This is the A period or the B period. A period, B period. Okay, tries to get back into an acceptance side the late spike here, but is unable to do so. C period, D period, they all fall short of the high of the initial balance here in D period. The initial balance, one extreme of the initial balance remains one extreme of the day here in crude oil. We said, I think in December, we were going to start keeping an eye on that because it's really a high probability that one extreme of the initial balance, the IB, the first hour of trade, is going to remain one extreme or the other. Okay, here's Friday. The low of the initial balance is one extreme of the day. Today again, the upper extreme, after rejecting the late spike, the high of the session. So there's two in a row there in crude. Here's the S&Ps. What about the S&Ps? Well, a lot more range-bound look here in the S&Ps than in the NASDAQ. So we took a look at last week's high. We were unable to find acceptance or participation above that level. I believe, again, that was before the open. We did open with a late spike. We opened with a gap as well. So when we open with a gap, here's where we opened. Here's the late spike that we talked about this morning. We'll take a look at this on the TPO charts as well. That makes the expectation of continuation to the upside a little bit higher probability. But again, anything can happen. We took a look right to last week's high, could not take out the overnight high. The market turned around, came back into range, accepted back inside value, traded to the other extreme of value before finding some sort of buyers down here and then returning back into value from Friday. So value largely the same as Friday. So no major changes in the perception of value of the S&P right now. Here is the late spike. We opened above it. We looked higher. Could not trade to the overnight high, which is up here. Couldn't even take out these naked points of control here, finding sellers, leaving a lot of excess off this high here. This is going to be a little bit concerning. And then continuing to rotate lower. Here's the value area high, value area low. It wasn't a tremendous opportunity to trade the value area special situation play. However, it would have been the thing to do. What else was I going to tell you? What else was I going to show you? Maybe I was going to just show this. Here, I wanted to see. Look at the week low we had in the overnight as well. Here's the overnight high. A little bit of excess. Opening, rejection. We did have a long that was, pretty worthwhile on this push to the upside. Good thing we got out of it. 38.9875 is where we got out of that short, out of that long. We should have gotten short. Couldn't take out the overnight high. Week low. Look at this week low here. This is an overnight, but still. So, a lot of excess on this high. Here's the NASDAQ. Not as much range-boundy activity. More of a kind of a V-bottom look here, but we were unable to continue this move to the upside, starting to create an area of balance. This might come in useful in coming days. Here we go. We did take out the overnight high. We did open with a late spike. We did open with a gap. All the nuances were saying we could probably accept value at higher levels, and it gave us a lot of opportunities to look for longs. Believe me, I probably tried a couple of them before I said, you know what, this ain't right. First off, the gap close. Well, the gap close is one of the things that says, well, maybe we're rejecting higher pricing, continuing to push down to the base of the late spike and accepting below that, then accepting back inside value from the previous day. We could have had some difficulties if we fought this move to the downside. But as we say quite often, if the market is one time framing, if it is a directional market, even if it appears to be in short time frame, be very cautious fighting a market that is directional. In short time frame, this is a very directional day. In medium time frame, did it change anything here just yet? Not really. Value remains the same. Gold. So with the dollar higher and the euro lower, gold I thought held up pretty well today. Never really got a good chance here at 38.31 weekly kickoff. We tested it on the open last night. We had some overnight longs. Those capitulated. We really kind of just spent some time up here. Spending time marks acceptance of price. It'd be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Here's the TPO chart. Very narrow initial balance. This is one of the markets that did not maintain one extreme of the initial balance as the high or the low. We basically doubled the initial balance on both sides of it today. Just a reminder, we did leave one extreme of the initial balance at an extreme in the S&Ps and the NASDAQ. The high of the regular trading hour session is the high of the initial balance. Here's the euro. So big drop, really kind of finding support here instead of finding resistance below at weekly kickoff low. But this would have been a chop shop if you tried to go long above or short below. Try and warn people from doing that. But at least we're seeing some acceptance of lower pricing here. I'm going to take this out. We've checked that. Here's the TPO. So initial balance low of the regular trading hour session. No, that's yesterday. That's Friday. Initial balance, neither the high nor the low. So the market really tried to rotate here to find no gap close, though. Really tried to find some sort of direction here and really just struggled to find any direction. Here's the 10-year. Boy, an attempt to close the gap that took almost all day. It was unable. So rates continued to hold lower through the day. Just a kind of a check to this naked point of control up here. And the natural gas. Boy, it really just, for a long time, just stuck here at $4. Had a look below, and then a close. Yeah, it looks like we've got a close below weekly kickoff low. A little big gap there. John, I'm looking at your question here. Do we have a trading show? Ray Paradise, it's good to see you. Happy New Year as well. I don't know if we would necessarily call it a trading show, John, but on YouTube at 7:45, we do have the market prep, where we take a look at the markets and take a look at the context and think about risk management and trying to be patient. We do have Make Hogue Money, which we do 4 days a week. Today we did the early session, which is from 8:20 right after the market forecast till about 9:20. Tomorrow we'll be doing the forecast as we do every day, the recap or the reflection we do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll do group coaching, which is at 12:30. I can send you a link here, so you'll be able to join us for that. That's a Zoom meeting, and then at 2:00 tomorrow we will have Make Hogue Money, and you'll be able to see that on either YouTube or in the Zoom meeting. So I don't necessarily know if we have a trading show, but John, if you have an idea, if you have something that you think would be good, if you would like to see that, let us know. You can email me directly at jhoagland at topstep.com. JHOAGLAND at topstep.com. We've been talking about increasing the amount of touch that we have in these live sessions, and we're always looking for ideas and suggestions. So today in history, George Steinbrenner's group buys the Yankees from CBS, 1973. 1973. 2004, on this day, the Mars exploration rover Spirit lands safely on Mars to let those living on Mars know that there is somebody else out there. 1924, today's the day, Howard Carter discovered King Tut's sarcophagus. It was uncovered on this date. 1959. It seems like not that long ago, right? January 3rd, 1959, President Eisenhower signs a special proclamation admitting the territory of Alaska into the Union as the 49th and largest state of the United States. A couple of cool birthdays. 1926, Sir George Martin, English record producer who was considered kind of the fifth Beatle, produced all but one of the Beatles' albums. Today is his birthday, again, born in 1926. That's the same year as my dad. Stephen Stills' birthday is today. Happy birthday, Stephen Stills. As we all know from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby, Stash, Nils and Young. There you go. Today is also John Paul Jones' birthday. John Paul Jones, bass player extraordinaire, keyboards, producer, Led Zeppelin, played with everybody, the Stones, the Yardbirds, Donovan, Jeff Beck, Herman's Hermits, Tom Jones, REM. Here he is. Happy birthday, John Paul. And that's about it. Back to trading. Yeah, I know I remember you saying you were going to take a little bit of time away. Daryl, yeah, it depends on what account you want. If you have specific questions for that, our support team is the best. They are the best in any business. Eileen Feinberg up $1,500 on step 2 so far. Nice job. So it's been a good day for you, and we're very happy about that. It is your success that we are looking forward to. So get some good rest. Do your homework. Reflect on your trading day. Think about the things you did right first. Think about things maybe you can do better. But we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning on the market forecast again here at 7:45 a.m. Central. Same bet time, same bet channel. See you in the morning. It's day 2 of trading in 2023 tomorrow. Have a great night. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Say a prayer for peace.